performing.
lying.
And don't run away.
It's the truth.
No, it's not, Liz.
You want me to be on
Liz.
your side when
No,
your
I want you to try. I want you to stop acting like a prima donna.
You out
Stop acting like a
that
prima donna.
you still
and
wanted
stop
to be
performing.
with her.
Liz, you got what you deserved. That's what you got.
Liz's return without her previous partner dramatically shifts the atmosphere, bringing a wave of relief and excitement among her friends. Their reactions leave no room for doubt. They believed her past relationship was toxic. As Liz steps into the spotlight, the air thickens with anticipation of what's next. Will this newfound independence spell the end for Big Ed in Liz's life? Join us to see how Liz takes control, leaving Big Ed in the shadows of her daring move forward. Breaking free. Liz, looking happier and more relaxed, jokes about how much lighter she feels now, as if she's lost the weight of a whole person. Her friends quickly gather around her, welcoming her warmly and making it clear they support her decision to end things with her ex. Even though they joke about his appearance, it's obvious that everyone agrees Liz is better off without him. But just as Liz starts to settle in, her ex Ed makes a dramatic entrance, dressed in black. His arrival immediately brings down the mood. The energy in the room drops as everyone realizes who just walked in. Ed tries to join the conversation, but the responses he gets are cold and unwelcoming. Liz, especially, keeps her distance and stays guarded around him. As the evening goes on, Liz stays strong, making it clear she's done with Ed. Her friends back her up, reminding her of all the reasons why ending the relationship was the right choice.
Why do you let him upset you like this? You deserve better.
This shows just how much they want to protect her from any more pain. But this wasn't the worst part. Ed doesn't seem to notice or care that he's not welcome. He tries to talk to Liz and others, but his efforts are awkward and often met with resistance or outright rejection. He seems completely unaware of how much everyone wants him gone, which only makes things more uncomfortable for everyone. As the conversations continue, Liz's strength is tested. Ed starts playing the victim, trying to get sympathy with tears and self-pity. For a moment, Liz seems to waver, but her friends quickly step in to remind her of how far she's come. Their support helps her stay firm, even when Ed tries to manipulate her emotions. The next day, things get even more complicated. Liz and Ed have to face each other at a big event, setting the stage for more tension and confrontation. But Liz stands her ground, making it clear that their breakup is final. She puts an end to any rumors that they might get back together, showing just how much she's grown and how determined she is to move on. Yet this wasn't the most challenging part. Meanwhile, Ed tries to change how people see him, talking about how he's focused on personal growth and spirituality. But given his past behavior, not many people believe him. His words don't match up with what everyone knows about him, and this only adds to the frustration and skepticism from those around him. The interactions between Liz and Ed are full of tension, each one reminding everyone of the issues that caused their breakup. Liz handles these moments with a mix of strength and vulnerability, leaning on her friends who see right through Ed's act and keep encouraging her to stay away from him. When Ed claimed he wasn't looking for a relationship and hadn't been on any dating apps, Liz quickly called him out. She revealed that just a month after they broke up, he was already on a dating app.
I don't know if he's been seeing anybody else, but I know he was on a dating app.
This moment clearly showed that Ed wasn't being honest, trying to twist the story to make himself look better. Liz's courage in pointing out his lies opened up a bigger conversation about honesty and taking responsibility in relationships. Ed tried to defend himself, saying that both of them were responsible for the breakup. However, it was clear that he ended things without even talking it through with Liz first, putting the blame unfairly on her. This was typical of Ed. He often avoided taking responsibility for his actions. When Liz shared what really happened, Ed got defensive and called her a liar, trying to make her look bad in front of everyone. But this wasn't the worst part. As the argument heated up, another person on the show accused Ed of always acting like the victim and using manipulation to get what he wanted. This person pointed out that Ed had a habit of shifting blame and telling stories that made him look good, even when they weren't true. Liz, feeling cornered and frustrated, found it hard to get her point across as Ed kept interrupting and twisting her words. Liz tried to talk about a specific incident involving spicy food that led to their wedding being called off, but Ed cut her off, saying she was too emotional and not as calm as she appeared on camera. This sparked another argument about how real their on-screen behavior was compared to what really happened in their relationship. Ed's tactic was clear: provoke Liz until she reacted, then use her emotional response as proof that she was the problem. This cycle of provocation and blame was a constant in their interactions, showing just how toxic their relationship had become. But things were about to get even more complicated. During the argument, Liz pointed out that her reactions were because of Ed's constant provocations. She argued that his behavior brought out the worst in her, a point others on the show agreed with. They had noticed how Ed often manipulated situations to create conflict and make himself look better. As the tension grew, other people on the show joined the conversation. Some defended Ed, showing how divided their peers were about the situation. This discussion brought out deeper issues about recognizing personal flaws and how public opinion, shaped by selective portrayals on reality TV, could influence what people believed. This confrontation showed just how complex Liz and Ed's relationship was. Both of them were fighting to control the story of what happened between them. Liz, who had once been quieter, was now standing up to Ed, challenging his version of events and trying to take back her power in the situation. Ed, realizing he couldn't manipulate Liz as easily in front of an audience, started to deflect again.
Based on the past, that Liz going back to work does scare me.
He claimed that people misunderstood him and that he was wrongly seen as the bad guy. Yet he kept trying to hold on to his image of being innocent and focused on self-improvement. But that wasn't the only thing left to discuss. The conversation then moved to bigger ideas about personal growth and being truthful. Liz spoke up about how important it is to be honest and transparent. She stressed that it's crucial to face your mistakes head-on instead of hiding behind excuses and half-truths. This exchange between Liz and Ed was a strong example of how hard it is to fix problems when lies and manipulation have broken down trust. It showed how necessary it is to be sincere and honest when dealing with past actions and how tough it can be to change public perceptions, especially when they've been shaped by what people see on TV. In the end, the argument between Liz and Ed wasn't just about their relationship. It was about the bigger issues of honesty, how people are perceived, and personal growth. It reminded everyone that growing as a person is challenging, especially when public opinion can heavily influence how private matters are viewed. As Ed and Liz try to fix their relationship, will more challenges come their way? A mother's fury. In a tense moment, Liz found herself dealing with the emotional fallout from Ed's decision to cancel their wedding. Her mother, Patty, was just as upset and didn't hold back. She spoke out strongly against Ed, making it clear she disapproved of how he treated her daughter. The tension in the room was clear, and it was obvious that there were still many unresolved issues between them. Patty had once welcomed Ed into their family, believing he would bring happiness to Liz. But now she felt betrayed. She saw past Ed's charm and recognized the selfishness and manipulation underneath. It was a tough realization for a mother, to see her daughter's happiness shattered by someone they had trusted. The conversation quickly turned to how Ed's actions had affected Liz. Patty admitted that Liz, who was usually emotionally strong, had been pushed to her limits by Ed's behavior. His actions brought out a side of Liz that was uncharacteristic, reactive and distressed, something she rarely showed. It was clear that Ed's presence was a source of great stress for Liz, making her behave in ways that were not true to her calm and stable nature. Ed, on the other hand, tried to shift the blame onto Liz, saying she was the one who was too emotional. He even quoted past conversations with Patty, twisting her words to support his version of events. But it was obvious that Ed was trying to manipulate the situation, a skill he seemed to use often to avoid blame and keep control. But this wasn't the worst part. As the argument grew more intense, Patty's frustration became more visible.
So, Patty, how does it feel seeing Ed today?
I still want to kill him.
She struggled to stay calm, her anger clearly triggered by Ed's attempts to provoke her. This was likely the same pattern that had played out between Liz and Ed. He would provoke her and then use her reaction to justify his criticism of her behavior. Throughout all this, Patty emphasized how much Ed's behavior had hurt Liz. She described how his actions had slowly worn Liz down, isolating her from those who cared about her and making her doubt herself. It was clear that Ed's influence on Liz had been harmful, gradually breaking down her confidence in a way that was subtle but very damaging. The conversation then broadened to talk about relationships in general, focusing on the importance of respect and empathy. Others on the panel joined in, criticizing Ed for not understanding the harm he had caused. There was a strong sense of agreement among the group that Ed's behavior was not okay and that he needed to take responsibility for his actions. But there was more to this story. Even as these discussions went on, Liz remained at the center of attention. Her journey of recovery and finding herself again was a constant, if unspoken, part of the conversation. The fact that she still had feelings for Ed, despite everything that had happened, added complexity to the situation. It showed just how deep her emotional connection to Ed was, making it clear that moving on would not be easy. As the episode came to an end, the introduction of Liz's new relationship brought a hopeful note. Unlike her ex Ed, Jason was calm and supportive, greeting Ed with only a quick nod, making it clear he wasn't interested in engaging with him. This was a moment Liz had been looking forward to, a chance to show that she had moved on to a healthier relationship. Jason's presence beside Liz was a clear reminder of what a caring and loving partner looks like. He was everything Ed wasn't: respectful, attentive, and genuinely kind to Liz. Their interactions were filled with small gestures of affection and mutual respect, which was tough for Ed to watch. He could see how happy Liz was now, and it clearly bothered him. When Jason spoke to the group, he made it clear that his relationship with Liz wasn't just a rebound, it was a fresh start. He looked directly at Ed and said that Liz's past with him was over. His words were a strong statement that they were leaving behind the difficulties Liz faced with Ed and focusing on a bright future together. Ed, looking uncomfortable, tried to cut Jason down, making remarks to belittle him and their relationship. But Jason didn't take the bait. He calmly brushed off Ed's comments, showing that he didn't see Ed as important to their future. But this wasn't the most challenging moment. The conversation took a turn when Liz's mother joined in. She was clearly relieved and happy about Jason, praising him for being so different from Ed, kind, understanding, and supportive. Her words highlighted the big difference between Liz's rocky past relationship and her current stable one. Jason then talked about his and Liz's dreams for the future, including plans to move to a beautiful coastal home. This symbolized their desire to start a new chapter together, far from the troubles of Liz's past with Ed. His talk about their future was a clear reminder to Ed of what he had lost and what he could never give Liz. As the discussion continued, Jason emphasized how much he respected Liz and how he wouldn't tolerate any disrespect toward her.
Oh, man. I don't have much to say to you. First of all, after today, you're in the past. We're going to move forward. Starting today, you will never disrespect her again. Otherwise, you're going to have to deal with me.
He made it clear that this wasn't just about defending Liz. It was about treating her as an equal partner, something Ed had never really done. But this wasn't the worst part for Ed. Ed's response was a mix of sarcasm and defensiveness. He tried to act like he was the bigger person, even wishing Jason luck, but his tone made it clear he wasn't sincere. It was obvious that Ed was struggling to accept that Liz was happier without him. In a heartfelt moment, Liz and Jason shared a look that showed their deep connection and love for each other. Everyone could see that Liz had moved on from the pain and insecurity that once defined her relationship with Ed. It was a powerful moment that showed just how far Liz had come. The reunion ended with Jason making it clear that they were moving forward, leaving Ed to think about his own mistakes. It was a strong reminder that real strength in a relationship comes from respect, understanding, and support. Qualities that Jason showed and Ed lacked. As Liz stands strong, what will happen when she meets Ed's family? And how will this affect their relationship? The age gap dilemma. In a surprising twist, Liz found herself getting ready to meet Ed's daughter, who interestingly is 3 years older than Liz. Their relationship was already complicated by the age difference between Liz and Ed, but now this meeting promised to make things even more uncomfortable for everyone involved. As Liz and Ed drove to meet his daughter, the tension in the car was hard to miss. Ed seemed excited about the introduction, acting as if nothing was strange about the situation. He was full of optimism, seemingly unaware of how awkward this meeting might be. Liz, however, felt a mix of nervousness and duty, probably wondering how she ended up in this strange and challenging moment in her life. When they arrived, the first moments were as uncomfortable as Liz had feared. Ed, who often missed the mark when it came to personal boundaries, tried to ease the tension with jokes and light comments. But instead of breaking the ice, his attempts only made things more awkward. His daughter, already unsure about her father's habit of dating much younger women, greeted Liz politely but kept her distance. The conversation that followed was a careful balancing act, with everyone trying to be diplomatic while dealing with the obvious tension in the room. Ed's daughter was clearly struggling with the situation. She voiced her concerns about the age difference and how quickly her father had jumped into this new relationship.
Concern is with the age gap and the fact that you are younger than me.
Her worries weren't just about the relationship itself, but also about how it affected their family and what others might think. Liz tried her best to come across as understanding and sincere, wanting to show that her feelings for Ed were real, but it was clear that Ed's daughter was skeptical. She couldn't ignore the history of Ed's past relationships and the public attention they had received. But this wasn't the hardest part for Liz. Ed, stuck between trying to make his daughter happy and showing his love for Liz, stumbled through the conversation. His reassurances didn't seem convincing, more like he was asking his daughter to accept the situation rather than showing confidence in his relationship with Liz. As they talked, the conversation became more personal. They started discussing their plans for the future, their commitment to each other, and how they would manage the challenges of blending families in such an unusual situation. Ed's daughter, protective of her father but doubtful of his choices, asked tough questions that made Liz and Ed face the realities and potential problems their relationship could bring. This meeting brought to light the difficulties of relationships with big age gaps, especially when family members are involved. It raised important questions about whether their relationship could last and how they would navigate the social norms and family dynamics that came with it. Despite the discomfort, the meeting was something Liz and Ed needed to go through. It made them confront important issues like respect, understanding, and how to get the acceptance of family members. These were things they couldn't ignore if they wanted their relationship to work. But the real challenge was still ahead. When they left, both Liz and Ed felt a mix of relief and lingering tension. They didn't have all the answers, and their future together seemed uncertain. There were still many questions about how they could combine their lives in a way that would respect everyone involved. This meeting wasn't just about introducing Liz to Ed's daughter. It was a moment that made Liz and Ed think deeply about their relationship. They had to consider not just their feelings for each other, but also the bigger picture, how their relationship affected the people around them and what it would take to make it work. It was a clear reminder that love, especially when it defies conventional norms, comes with its own set of challenges that need careful navigation. As they moved forward, Liz and Ed knew that building a strong relationship would mean dealing with both outside pressures and their own doubts. The road ahead was uncertain, but it also showed just how complicated human relationships can be and how unpredictable the journey of love really is. As Liz and Ed navigate their unconventional relationship amidst family scrutiny, can love truly bridge the significant age gap and blended family complexities? Comment your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on their journey.